This past weekend, Manchester United signed a new striker, Rasmus Højlund, signing for the club from Atalanta for huge money. He also just happens to be a Football Manager wonder kid, and with these things combining, I felt like it'd be a good, fun idea to test out his Manchester United career in Football Manager and see some of the heights that he just might be capable of hitting. In today's video, we're going to simulate the next 5 or so seasons, sticking him up front for Manchester United in an up-to-date database. Will he be the success that I'm sure Manchester United fans are hoping, praying that he's going to be? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a simple concept for today's video. Today's video, we're going to be simulating the career of Rasmus Højlund in Football Manager. Now that he is a Manchester United signing, a Manchester United striker. Big money signing this summer, this past weekend, ahead of the new season starting this coming weekend as I record this. Very exciting indeed. Rasmus Højlund is now a Manchester United player. Big money spent on him, a lot of expectations on his shoulders. We're going to find out what FM expects him to do because he's a really good player in Football Manager. He's big, he's tall, he's fast. It's probably why United wanted to sign him. I'm hoping that we're going to see his career reflected in Football Manager today to show maybe what we can hopefully expect, or Manchester United fans would hopefully be expecting him to do in the Premier League. He's obviously young, 20 years old, Danish striker. I've loaded him in to the updated database that I was using for the realistic rebuild I did. I've put him up front, look, alongside new signings like Mason Mount and Andre Onana. I've put them into Erik ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 system, which we're going to simulate the seasons with now. We're going to go 1 season, then 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons or so. See how he gets on. Will he score as many goals as you'd maybe expect him to do in Football Manager? And then maybe we can use that as the benchmark to judge him in real life. I also want to hear from you guys. What do you expect from Rasmus Højlund? Do you expect him to hit the ground running? Do you think that pressure is going to get to him a little bit? Do you expect him to be starting, or do you think we'll see a little bit more of Rashford through the middle to start with? They've obviously got other options like Garnacho on the bench that they could use, Sancho, etc. Or do you think he's just going to be a complete success and he's going to hit the ground running and score loads of goals like his almost namesake, Erling Haaland? Of course, those two will be compared. Maybe just because they look kind of similar and they've got a similar name, because they're not really similar players, but I think he's going to have some comparisons with him this year. A bit like Darwin Núñez had when he first joined from Liverpool. I wonder how Darwin Núñez will do second season, by the way. That's always a big talking point as well. I guess, though, this is where we're at. We're going to use this system here. We're going to use this setup here. We're going to start simulating through the seasons. And if you think this is something you're going to enjoy, please do leave a like on the video. Leave me some comments down below. And, of course, subscribe to the channel. As I record this, we're really close. We're like 2,500 subscribers away from 50k. It'd be really cool to hit that. If you like this type of thing, please do subscribe to the channel. And I guess without further ado, let's go a season in and see how Højlund gets on in his debut season in the Prem. Let's go. Okay, well, first season's gone pretty well for him. They won the league, Manchester United, with 94 points, an unbelievable season from them. But perhaps most impressively, Rasmus Højlund has scored 45 goals in his debut season in England. This is above and beyond anything I expected of him, but I guess maybe I was wrong to not expect this because he's really good in Football Manager. He is very much that meta that I often talk about, even though it makes me cringe as I just say that. But look how he's got on in his first season, playing 34 games in the league and scoring 36 goals. Those are almost Haaland numbers. He got 10 player of the matches, 45 goals in all comps, which means he scored 3 in the Champions League as well, which means, I mean, United are very, very good, and he is already very, very good. He's just 21 years old. You just see his development there. Look, you see these up arrows. He's going to get better as well in this sim, which makes me now I just want to go and find out how good he can actually become in Football Manager, because all the way through this year, you could sign him really cheap. I guess that's gone now, but he's still going to be so good. Imagine how good he's going to be in FM24 and onwards as well. 36 goals in 34 games. I guess we should also see how Manchester United got on. Just to say, I just locked in the tactic and then just simulated the season. That was all that we really did. They got to the Champions League final. With this 4-2-3-1, I guess it works then, this Ten Hag system. They lost to Barcelona in that Champions League final. Did they play? Did he start? He did. He got a 6.5. Look, let's have a look at it. They almost won the Champions League and the Premier League in their first season. I mean, it is a very strong team. They've signed some players as well, look. There's Ferran Torres is playing for Manchester United. They signed him, or Ten Hag signed him in, I assume, January. £53 million they spent on him. When did he sign for them there? Ignore some of these signings, by the way. That was from my rebuild video, like Disasi, who I thought United might go for. He ended up going to Chelsea this summer, and Rabiot We thought he might go there, but also then they cancelled it, didn't they? They signed Torres, in the summer. So maybe United fans, you can expect that as well. They also signed Nicholas Seawald, who's really good in FM as well. So those two might play a lot of games in the future. Did they sell anybody else? They sold Alvaro Fernandez in January. And that's about it. So a Champions League final and also an FA Cup semi-final and a Carabao Cup win. They beat Arsenal in the final of the Carabao Cup as well. Ferran Torres got top goal scorer in this. There he is leading the line. Rasmus Højlund. Is it Højlund or Highland, by the way? I'm not really sure. I think it's probably Highland to be technical. Danish viewers, if you could let me know. But I feel like England is just going to make it become Højlund. That's my prediction anyway. Let's see. Danish viewers, let me know. Anyway, there we go. Look, a 3-0 win. Did he score? He did not score in that final, although they did win that. So two trophies, Premier League title, Carabao Cup, semi-final of the FA Cup, they lost to Brighton, and they got to the Champions League final. Those are some pretty lofty heights that he needs to see if he can reach and maybe even exceed next season. I guess, though, what we need to do is go another season on from now and see if he can do that. I'll see you at the end of season 2. And could he reach those heights? And could United reach those heights? No, is the answer. He did pretty well, though, but this season, a little bit of a downturn in terms of goals. He only scored 36. In season number 2, and United only managed to finish second. Manchester City back on top, maybe a little bit more like you'd expect with 93 points. Bloody hell. West Ham came third. Maybe that's not something you'd expect. So that's a little bit of a weird one. What a season for them. I think they only dropped to third on the last day. Look, at this up arrow suggests that United just went above them on the last day, which is maybe a surprise, I'd probably say. Who have West Ham got? Have they still got, let's have a look at their team. Skamaka's still there. He's good on FM. And Dombele, Dan Burns ended up there, which is a weird one. Anyway, we're distracting ourselves. Let's go back to Manchester United and Rasmus Højlund. Let's have a look at his development. He's got some down arrows, which worries me slightly. He's still only seen as a squad player, although he is playing, I think, pretty much he's playing every game. He's got 37 starts, 25 goals in the league. That's still a very, very healthy record, although not as good as his first season. Let's have a look at him in the tactic then and see how the other players got on as well. There's Rashford got 18 goals, Bruno got 22, Anthony got 13 and 19 assists. I mean, they're performing well, not quite winning the league though. Any new big signings here? Quinton Timber, that's a fun one. It's Jurrien Timber's brother has signed for Manchester United in this save here, with Timber, of course, going to Arsenal this summer. No other big signings, it seems. Harry Maguire's still here and Scott McTominay's still here. They might be at West Ham by this point. Of course, those are the links at the moment anyway. Let's just go back to here and see how they got on in the other competitions. They finished second. They lost to Brighton in the FA Cup again. That's 2 in 2 seasons for them. They lost the Community Shield. They lost in the Carabao Cup semi-final. And they only went through to the league phase of what's going on here? Okay, this is the last season. Where did they get to in the Champions League in here? It doesn't show me. Quarterfinals. They lost to Real Madrid in the quarterfinal. It was 4-1 on aggregate. So comfortably dispatched by Real Madrid. But it's an okay season, and it's a good season in terms... it's still a good season in terms of goals. 36 goals, isn't it? Let's see how he does in season number 3. Okay, season number 3, same old story, I think is probably the best way to say it. He got 35 goals, which is 1 less than last year. I don't know why he peaked in his first season. That seems bizarre. Maybe United had a stronger team or something. Maybe they've not managed to bring in the right signings. I'm not sure, but 35 goals for Højlund. Still very healthy, but United have dropped a game. They're third this season with just 74 points. It's still pretty good. Arsenal have won the league this year. City have gone from 94 points to finishing with 65 this season. What a fall off that has been for them. Liverpool also, I think, will write down, and now they're back up to second. West Ham were third, and now they're down to 11th. So this Premier League is all over the place. But Højlund with 35, is he still developing? He is still developing. He looks pretty good. He's now, he's still only seen as a squad player. Is he still playing? He's played every single game, so that's good. Only 18 in the league, though. The average rating has really dropped off as well. Look at that. Consistently getting worse over these seasons. Maybe that's a little bit worrying. As he gets older, 23 years old now, still scoring plenty. Here he is in the tactic here, look. He's got himself 35 goals in 61 games. 20 for Rashford, 25 for Bruno. They've actually signed some other players here, I can see. Vitor Roque's in the side now. Didn't play many games, though. They've also got Marcus Leonardo, who is fantastic in FM. They must have spent pretty big on him. Another striker. 96 million. Maybe we'll see Højlund's game time reduced a little bit next season, because that is a lot of money to spend on a striker that is simply coming off the bench every single game. Look, 41 sub appearances is a little bit wild. Let's see how they got on in those other competitions this year then. If we go back to home here, Champions League, I don't think it shows us on here. Let's go to Champions League. It's round of 16. They've gone out in the Champions League to Milan. That's a little bit embarrassing. 1-1 at home, then losing 1-0 away from home. Denis Suarez with the winner. Not great. It was quarter-final of the FA Cup this year. It wasn't Brighton. It was Arsenal that knocked them out. What about those other competitions? It was Newcastle knocking them out in the Carabao Cup, and then the Community Shield, they lost to Manchester City. It's not a great season, in all honesty. Even with the money that they spent on transfers here for like Leonardo, £126 million spent, look. Brought in 30 mil. They sold Elias Ben Seguir for £23 million, which is a good sale for them, I think. Let's go through to season number 4. All right, into season number 4, and this is a little bit more like it from our boy Rasmus. 41 goals this year. In 2027 is now the year, and he is now, what, 24, 25 years old? 24 years old, still improving and definitely still scoring goals. 41 goals is an impressive haul. United finished 3rd. It was City back on top with Newcastle in 2nd this time. This Premier League table has been quite fun to watch, actually. Manchester United in 3rd on 75 points. A decent season, but maybe a better season in terms of goals from Højlund. Let's have a look at those goals there. 31 and 37 starts. So he's still playing every single game, even with the signing of Marcus Leonardo. So that's good to see. No assists, 5 player of the matches, a better average rating. In fact, his best average rating since his first season, which was his best so far, 7.44. So maybe an improvement there. Let's have a look at how they got on in those competitions. We'll check the Champions League afterwards. At least they've been consistently in that, haven't they? Premier League, they finished 3rd, we've seen. They lost in the 4th round to Fulham. And again, they've been knocked out of a domestic cup by Brighton. The 4th round this time, they lost to in the Carabao Cup to Brighton. They love knocking Manchester United out, is all that I can assume. Here he is in the system with some other players around him. Seawold, it looks like he's got himself the starting place here. Although only 20 starts, so maybe it is usually Casemiro. Casemiro is injured, that would be why. They've also, any new signings in there? New backup goalkeeper, I think. Rooney Bargi's come in. Another FM WONDERKID, so that's a fun one. And I think that's about it, really. Let's have a look at actually those sales on there just to see. They spent £18 million, Rooney Bargi being most of that. They've sold players for 45. Garnacho's gone to West Ham, who finished 3rd randomly. And also, Jadon Sancho's gone to Saudi Arabia, which is a fun one. Maybe something we might see in real life. He went in the simulation we did video. The video where we did Saudi's league with all the new money. I think he was one of the big name signings or big names that went there in that video. So there's that. Let's go, I guess. In fact, let's check the Champions League first. Oh my word, another Champions League final. It's weird how it doesn't show you on that competitions because it goes to next seasons. But they got to another Champions League final, Manchester United. And again, they were beaten 2-0. Pretty rubbish game from Højlund up front, look. 6.2 from him, beaten 2-0 by PSG. I want to actually just check, is Ten Hag still the manager? Obviously not what I mean. We're still the manager. Did I put, in the end, I think I was going to, did I put Ten Hag as the assistant? I did. Okay, I forgot to mention this at the start. I put Ten Hag in as the assistant so that he would be doing all of the signings and all of the tactics and, the team selections anyway, not the tactics because I've set his tactic up, but did want to mention that, but I forgot at the start of the video. We're still in charge, of course, so Ten Hag is still technically the manager. Let's go, I suppose, to our final season. Will he be able to beat his best ever season, which was the first one with 36 league goals, 45 in total? He got close this year. Will he be able to beat it in the final season of our simulation? I'll see you after season 5. And here we are then at the end of season number 5. And has he beaten his records? No, he's not. He's got 38 goals, which is, again, very, very healthy. If we were to add up all of his goals, it's a lot. I think he only had like 6 beforehand. So, yeah, he's only got 6. So take 6 off this. He's got 138 goals for Manchester United in his time here in 182 games. His goal scoring record has been sublime, even if his first or his best season was the first one. He's not quite been able to hit these heights again, but consistently very good. If you've got over an 8 rating, a 7 rating, I should say, I think you could be happy with that. It was just this one season where he did kind of fall off a little bit. Otherwise, that's a lot of goals being scored. 38 in total, 28 and 36 this season, as Manchester United finished 2nd again. Liverpool won the league. It was 76 points. They've averaged around about that amount every single season, haven't they? About the 75-ish point mark. I can see some new signings in here as well, actually. I can see Luca Romero plays for them now. They've also got Scalvini playing for them, who's a player that I love signing on FM. In the competitions then, second in the league, fourth round against West Ham in the FA Cup. Runners up, they got to the Carabao Cup final, but lost to Villa in that one. No Brighton knocking them out of anything this year. Let's check the Champions League. Champions League, it was Arsenal. Do you know what? Brighton have knocked them out of a lot of competitions, but so have Arsenal, you know, knocking them out in the round of 16 in the Champions League this year. By the way, I've just noticed it was 5-1 in the final for Villa in the Carabao Cup. What has happened here? Anana's had a shocker. Quintin Timber has had a shocker as well. Not a great game from Højlund, but he was definitely not the worst player in there. Who's Thirion? He must be a new signing. He's a new gen. He's a pretty good wonderkid left back from Belgium as well. So there's that one as well. Let's just finally see how the tactic looks with him in it, and I guess we'll complete our video there after 5 seasons. Okay, here is that final tactic then, with the players being picked by Erik ten Hag. He leads the line with Rashford, Bruno Fernandes and Rooney Bargi just behind him here. And I can also see some other new names in this squad here. Yusufa Moukoko being the big one. Not really used though. Only 2 starts, 37 sub appearances. It looks like he's replaced Marcus Leonardo, who didn't play at all last year. Imagine that, look, spending all that money and now it looks like he might be off to Brighton for £35 million. Very bizarre AI transfer dealings, but you come to expect these things, don't you, with Football Manager. Some big names in there though. Malero is another new signing this season as well. And they've got another new gen at the back. Marwan Hassouni has come in. Anyway, we're focusing on Højlund. It's been a good season for him. 38 goals in 54 games. 3 assists, which is more than last season as well, I think. Manchester United have been consistently pretty good, but only the 1 league title and no Champions League wins unless they won it this year, which we have to check. Did I check it? I did check. It was they haven't won it. They lost to Arsenal this year. Maybe they peaked in that first season, which seems a bit odd. Let's just take and leave and finish off having a look at Rasmus Højlund's profile, see the development he's had. What a striker he is, by the way. He's now an important player and he's now on £180,000 per week. So they've given him that new contract. They've upped him from fringe player, I think, at the start to now important player. So we've seen him develop. We've seen him do well. Will he do that well in real life? I suppose only time will tell. Manchester United fans, I want to hear from you guys, though. How do you expect him to do? Leave me a comment if you haven't done so already. Anybody watching, give me a prediction. How do you predict Rasmus Højlund will get on in his Manchester United career? If you leave me that comment, I know you've watched till the end as well. So there is that as well. Thank you so much for watching today. Just a fun, very simple one today. It's always fun to do a simulation and I thought, why not? So there you go. Have a simulation for today's video. But I guess we'll leave it there then. Thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, I guess I should say, have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.